Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 0 of the pod, brought to you by Shiptember. For full disclosure, this isn't an actual full-blown episode, but more of a introduction / prologue on what's to come. The pod is a podcast series hosted by myself that will get to know and discover more about the amazing artists, designers, creatives, builders, makers, and more who take part in the Shiptember Art Month every single year. So what is Shiptember? Shiptember is an art month. It takes place every September, where artists drop by every single year and share their love of spaceships. Originally starting off focusing on concept art, we have seen a wide range of disciplines and mediums over the years as artists showcase their abilities. Yet the origin story of Shiptember is closely tied to my own career and journey. In a nutshell, back in 2020, on the eve of September, I was coming off a close to year-long period where I simply hadn't made anything personal. That was more down to the business of life and all of that good stuff. So out of that frustration, I was close to wrapping up a spaceship concept that I had been doodling away at on and off, and it was the following day, September. Previously, I had done a full year of everydays, so I kind of knew what to expect if I were to do it again. And this time I decided, why not do it for 30 days? So for the whole of that September in 2020, I decided to design a spaceship concept every single day for 30 days. So that's what I did. 30 spaceships in 30 days. That was an amazing journey looking back. Although at times it was brutal and tough, just to simply meet the demands that I'd set myself. But on the whole, it was a massively positive experience and one of the best things I've ever done and maybe will ever do. And to this day, that mini project, so to speak, still contains some of my favorite designs that I've ever made. It led to a new audience, it led to connecting with fellow artists and peers, and it also led to some amazing opportunities. Fast forward to the following year, and I wanted to do it again. This time, I wanted to set myself some very strict parameters, whereas the previous year was more of a freestyle. But I also asked myself a different question. Would anybody else want to do this? So I opened up an Instagram page and asked that very question. But with an art month, typically you always see a theme or some prompts. And with the ones that I had set myself, they were great for me, but I know for anybody else, they'd be very, very boring or too strict. So I needed to do something. Prompts didn't feel right, at least in this instance. And how people should create, again, didn't feel that should be stipulated. So we went with a motto instead. Your spaceships, your rules. You get to decide how you create, what you want to create, how often they get released. As long as it's about spaceships or spaceship adjacent, that's all that matters. So I put that in the wild and waited with bated breath to see if anybody would join. And lo and behold, they did. And 5 years later, it's been an incredible journey seeing the range of artists from across the spectrum, whether that's skill, level, medium, discipline, or whatever. It's been a joy to see. And for many years, I've always wanted to do this. I wanted to connect with those artists beyond just liking or sharing their art. One thing that adds value to an artist's artwork is getting to know them and hearing about them. And every year, it's always exciting to see what else people will do. So Shiptember is here to stay. Before I forgot to mention, back in 2020, when I did my original art month, I needed to give it a name. Well, I thought I did. And I came up with Shiptember, thinking I was a genius and I was the only person that had come up with that. Later on, I learned that that is a term that people have been using as an excuse to create spaceships for many, many years prior. From whether that's concept art itself or also through the Lego community. So that soon told me, nice. But who are you? Thanks for asking. My name is Dhanda. I wear many hats, but most likely you've heard me or seen me on as a host on the Learn Squared podcast. But if you've never seen that, then most likely you've never heard of me. So hello. And the many hats that I mentioned, I can summarize them into, 3 major hats. First one is I'm a concept artist and designer, and have been one professionally for close to a decade. I have worked with the likes of Bungie on Destiny 2. I've worked in the Star Wars universe through Star Wars Unlimited. I have worked with clients like NetEase and more on projects that either I can't mention or have been cancelled. And alongside concept art, I've done product design, marketing art, and a bunch of stuff in between. Hat number 2, I'm a marketer. This one, compared to the previous one, maybe isn't as glamorous. And it's something that has stemmed from the jobs I had as a teenager, as I was going through university and college studying art and design. And those jobs typically revolved around sales or a sales adjacent environment. And over time, those skills have matured and given me some useful skills that I've applied to marketing type roles. Most notably through Learn Squared, the online learning platform, where if you're not familiar, definitely check them out. They've birthed many legendary artists and designers, as well as being founded by some absolute legends in their own right. Hat number 3, I'm a podcaster. This hat is more of a combination of the previous two. The podcast that I'm known for is Learn Squared podcast. That's something that I founded, produced and host, and I've done so also since 2020. And that's been an amazing journey and taught me a lot about how to communicate with my fellow creatives and to speak to the audience. That's also a skill set that I've applied by helping the legendary Ash Thorpe on season 2 of his collective podcast, as well as helping a few others behind the scenes. Overall, all those different roles have led to this weird collection of skill sets that have also helped birth the Ship.Tember community, and I'm very excited to seeing how I can apply those into growing this even further. So tell us more about the pod. So, the pod. Of course, the pod is an affectionate term. Normally denotes a podcast episode, but for us it has a different meaning and connotation. Every episode, I'll be chatting with the amazing designers and artists from the Ship.Tember community, finding out what makes them tick, learning about their creative process, and then when we're done with them, we're going to slap them into a cryopod or an escape pod and send them off for a few light years. But before we do, we're going to find out what things they need with them on their journey. And so far, with the episodes that we've recorded, it's been very insightful and interesting hearing what they will take with them. So that's it for episode 0. Before we go, I must kindly ask for you to support Ship.Tember. You can do so by subscribing, liking, sharing. Then when you're done with that, log into your burner account and do the same again. And then when you're done with that, tell your friends or tag your favorite artists. In fact, if you'd like to see particular artists on a future episode, please pop them in the comments. And if you'd like to support Ship.Tember even further, you can also support us by grabbing us a coffee. The links are all attached to this episode. This podcast series was actually penciled to drop a few years ago. Although finally it's now here, there are many other things we'd love to do here at Ship.Tember. And any support you can offer, whether it's simply by liking an episode or more, goes a long way to helping us achieve those goals and give something more back to the audience and everyone that tunes in. So that's it from me. Thank you for tuning in and look forward to seeing you on episode 1, which will be dropping very, very soon. Till next time.